Alright, welcome back, Bug. So remember what we learned before. If we want to change up the length of our trench, we're going to run into an issue where it was 3 by 4 before, but now it's 4 by 5. It'll continue after here straightforward because it won't register the next turn because we didn't take into account. So what we should know is that, hey, length is going to determine what our amount of turns we need to take into account. So if the length is 3, we only need to worry about 2 turns, which is why we only wrote code for like, hey, is it the first turn or the second turn? What we need to do now is be like, okay, now that our length is 4, we'll need to take into account 3 stops or 3 turns. So if it's the first one, we turn left. It's the second one, it's right. And we turn the third one, it's left. But the thing is, that's really confusing. And I say confusing because if we increase the length of our trench, then we also need to add more if statements or else statements to be like, okay, well, if c equals 7, then you need to turn left or right. And when you look at our turns, you notice that when it's 1, it turns left. When it's 3, it turns left. When it's 2, it turns right. When it's 4, it turns right. That pattern tells us, hey, it turns right or left if the number is odd or even. So let's see, how can we identify if the number is odd and even? Let's go into Lua, and we're gonna do some math. We're gonna do an operation or comparator, and it's gonna be called modulus. So 10 modulus shift 5 divided by, divided by 2. So it takes the number 10, and then how many times can 2 go into 10? It's going to be 5. So then 10 minus 10 is 0. So if you do 10 modulus 2, you're going to get a remainder of 0, and that number is even. And that's true. All right. So then let's do 11, and we already know, hey, 2 can go into 11 5 times, but if you subtract 11 from 10, you're going to get a reminder of 1, and that means it's odd. So let's say 1,231, right? And we're gonna do a modulus of 2, and we're gonna get a remainder of 1. And we know now that, hey, this number is odd. So we're going to apply that to our code, and we're going to see, hey, how is this going to affect it? Is it going to work? So clear, actually, let's exit out of that. And let's go to our program, clear, so edit, and we're going to change our code, our if c equals 1, and instead it's going to be something like this right here. Take a second. So if c, the counter has no remainder because we did a modulus of 2, then we're going to turn right. Otherwise, if it does have a remainder, then we're going to do a left turn. Okay, let's control save, control exit, and see if that code works. Let's run this. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it's a left turn. Here should be a right turn. Then we should keep going. It should be a left turn. And then it should be a right turn. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's right. So it did create a 4 by 5 trench, but it also did another stop right. It also kept going once. So let's see what's going on. Edit. So because our length is L or full or is 4, that means it did 4 stops, not 3. Remember, L minus 1 is the amount of stops that you need to really take into account. So what can we do to make sure that after it's the third stop that it doesn't continue? What we can do is we can add an if statement. So if C is greater than L minus 1, so let's say we have 4. So if C is greater than 4, so if C is greater than 3 and our length is 4, then we no longer want to run the code below it so that we won't turn left or right. And let's see if it'll work. All right. So if the counter is greater than the number of stops that we actually need to make, then I want you to run this code. Actually, no, we should be less. So long as it's less than the amount of turns we need to make. So let's if it's greater than, okay, yeah, it should not be greater than 3 stops. Okay, so that's right. Control save, Control exit, and let's run our code. But we're gonna do it over again here. All right. Yep. Get a robot right here and run our code. So it should create a 4x5 trench. Where is it going? Oh god, no. Okay, so we did something wrong with the code. Let's try to fix it. So it's definitely here. So long as the counter is less than this amount, I want you to see if the counter is odd or even and either turn right or left. I think it's just our comparator that was done wrong. So let's exit. Let's do this again. See if it'll turn left right there. Yep. Okay. So long as it doesn't break this block, our code is working correctly. And it's definitely not. Okay. So let's see. We need, I guess we didn't need to take that L -1 and just do it based on the actual length. So edit, add trench, L, the length, and Control save, Control exit. Let's run this. Okay. Turn left, turn right, turn left, and should stop there. Should do nothing else. Okay, sweet, we got it working. It was just, we did some math wrong right there. All right, we got our math working now. In the next video, I'll show you how to go back to your starting point correctly, because we need to know, hey, if it's going to be here or if it's going to be here, whether the length is, let's say, a 3 or a 4, or odd or even, we need to figure out how we're going to turn correctly and go all the way over here. So yeah, we'll leave that for the next video. That'll be the last part of how to go back to the starting point correctly. All right, till the next time. Bye, bug.